Okay, you're being live streamed, and eventually I'll hit record, but I think I'll wait until
where am I? I always forget where I'm going to find it.
Right, as to where to post it. Yeah.
Where, because I'm on our videos, I don't know.
Yeah, because there's a delay. I've got it here.
So where did you find it?
In YouTube.
Yeah, I've got our channel up, but I can't see where. Your channel.
Okay.
I've got on my channel. Can you post a link in the Zoom? Because it's not coming up on mine for some reason.
I'm about to start it, and
Oh. I'm having to sign everything in. What's the email? Sorry, Pixel Art for Education.
Yep.
This is a nightmare.
No, we've got it. I've posted it on the Facebook.
Right, so can I get you through there? It's just asking me to sign into YouTube, although I'm up on hours. It's a bit weird. Oh.
Okay. You shouldn't need to do anything on YouTube.
It's not coming up. I'm on our channel. Pixel Art Mysteries and Education. Right, if I quickly share my screen and then you can maybe help.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I've got that. Where do I go from there?
You should be able to just click on that link right there.
On which link?
Holiday webinar, November 6th.
I didn't even see that. I'm looking all the way around the corner.
All right, now you can stop sharing your screen. And then you're going to want to mute the YouTube, or you'll be hearing everything twice. Okay.
Right, sorted.
All right, we've got 6 people watching already. That's awesome. I wish I knew better the controls. How does she know that?
Oh.
There we go. 7 people watching. I'm gonna probably wait a few minutes to get started. I don't want to go before people get a chance to find us. We'll give them a few more minutes to find the video, and then we can try to get started. So if you want to join us, tell us in the chat that you're here, where you're from, and if you have questions, you can put them there as well. Okay.
Yeah. That was the thing that he the challenge.
From Idaho. Excellent. Tony. Hi from Michigan. Oh, what part of Michigan? New Jersey. Well, we've covered the country now, coast to coast. California and New Jersey.
Hey.
Okay, we've covered half the globe now. Oh. New Hampshire, brisk fall day. Isn't it gorgeous right now? Like the colors are perfect. And oh, Colorado. Lisa, my two oldest children live in Colorado. I'm jealous. Wish I was there. It's too far away.
Oh, thank you so much. Say hello to your students, Laurie, from Mrs. Hodkinson in Orkney, Scotland, where we're in Gales at the moment.
Westland, Michigan, about 30 miles west of Detroit. Okay, I know that area. Had a sister that lived in Milford for a long time. What a nice crowd. 13 people watching now. Welcome, everybody.
Just to say, because we're on Zoom and it's going live on YouTube, Georgelina's just said there's about a 30-second delay. So just when we're going through the activities, what you may see, there's going to be a slight delay. And if we're answering questions as well. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Fred brings a smile to my face as well.
From Pittsburgh. Hello, Colleen. Yes, with the delay, it makes it a little bit hard. We may be going on ahead and it looks like we're ignoring your question, but we're not. We're just trying to catch up with the delay, but we will get to your questions, I promise. Hello, Sandra from Tennessee. All right. I think the only one of us.
Georgelina will be manning the questions.
Yep.
So if we miss anything, she'll let us know. Oh, so many places.
Bucks County, Pennsylvania, about an hour above Philly. Oh, that's the East Coast. Hi from New York. Hi, Tara. And Michelle from Texas. Oh, another Texas
You're more
girl.
than welcome.
Jennifer's here too. Good. Oh, there's a lot of people today. So good to see everybody. I think it's like that lull weekend between, before the holidays start getting super stressful and busy. And so everybody has a little downtime today.
Hello, Indiana.
Where's Indiana? Oh, there we go. Michelle Peters, Indiana. What part of Indiana are you? Yes, Sandra, you can put questions there as well. We will answer them as soon as we can. Lori, you're very welcome. It's been fun. And I think a lot of people are still using them, even though we're not necessarily virtual. A lot more of us, I think, are one-to-one with computers. And so it's become a little easier to do the digital activities. Hello, Alyssa from Canada. All right.
For me, it's good late afternoon because it's just gone 5 o'clock in the afternoon here. And pitch black.
Excellent, Michelle. Indianapolis, my favorite town. I lived there for about 13 years. Let's see, Northwest New Jersey. We have several people from New Jersey. I'm waiting for somebody from like Hawaii to get on. I mean, come on, let's get where it's really warm.
Christina, I love your second name. See, we've got a bit of UK.
There we go. All right, well, I think we should probably go ahead and get started since we are 21 people watching. We've been a few minutes past 1 o'clock, so we're going to start today with Julianne showing us a pixel art from our Thanksgiving package, which you may not already have, and that's okay. She's going to show you how to do some things. And then we are going to share another template with you. Do you want to share that now, Julianne, in the chat so they could grab it?
Yes, I did put in hours. Let's see if I can. So this is, I'm hoping, the link for, let me just double check. Yeah, for the Thanksgiving Baby Yoda. So if you haven't got the bundle, you can still carry on along, and Debbie's going to do something else with that template later, so you might want to make two. Okay, so shall I start sharing my screen? Okay. Bye. Oh, I'm sharing you and me.
Mhm.
We'll just have to be in the corner. Okay, so this is a pixel that's in our Thanksgiving bundle. How we do our pixels in our store is different than the pixels we do on the group. We use an indirect formula which makes it a lot easier to change. So here we've got this very, very colourful turkey, and it is at the moment set up for 1 to 22. And it's got 2 sheets. So if you go on to sheet 2, you will see here 1 to 22. Often with our templates, if you purchase them, if you cannot see the questions, just scroll down. And we do this to make it harder for students to see them. And I'll show you some more tricks later. So with this kind of template, it's so much easier. So, for example, if I wanted to do my usual multiplication, let me just resize it a bit. So you can see it better. There we are. And I'm sorry, I'm very finicky. I've got to center everything. So there we've got 5 times 5. 25. So as soon as I put that in, why hasn't the pixels gone? Debbie, do you know why they haven't gone?
I think there might just be a delay on your computer.
Right. Try this one. But for some reason, this isn't working. Shall I go on to the Thanksgiving one, or wait 1 minute?
Yes, switch over.
Right, we'll try here now. So 5 times 5 equals 25. So I put 25 into there. And as you can see, the pixels go because that is formatted to 1. All I have to do is go to sheet 2, find the first question and change it to 25. And that's as quick and easy as it is. So if I do another one, 8 times 7, and one more, 3 times 3. So 8 times 7, 56, 3 times 3, 9. go on to sheet 2, change that to 56, change that to 9, and go back. And that is your first 3 questions already reformatted. And you can reformat them, remember, for any grade, any subject, any level, and you can reformat over and over again. So if I wanted to put text, so if I do fast and I want the opposite, so slow, remember you can resize all of these columns without affecting anything. And if I want to put go and stop, I then go onto my sheet 2. And what's brilliant about these templates, you don't have to put your apostrophes. So all I need to do is slow and go. Important to remember, it needs to be in the answers the exact same. Because I never put 9 in. 9, slow. See what I mean? I didn't go in the exact order. So what I normally do, stop. What I normally do to stop all of this is I do all my questions first here. I then do a screenshot of the question of the answers all in order. I then go on to sheet 2 and do it, and that stops it getting a bit mixed up. But if when you convert it, there is something like, for example, that one was white, just go back and check you've put them in order. Okay, what if I wanted to do fractions? Oh, I'm putting them in the wrong one. So these are my answers: 1/3, 1/2, and 1/4. With the formatting, you have to put in apostrophes, but here, let's hope I've remembered the order. And there we are. If you wanted to put a question, if it is too doesn't fit in properly, just decrease. I'm sure you're all aware of this. So you've got it here. If I'll show you, if this one has actually got text wrap, if it didn't, and you can't see the full question like that, to text wrap it, you just click on the question, go up to here, and the middle one, and it will fit all in. And as you will all know, the capital of Orkney is Kirkwall, and that's where I actually live on this stormy, stormy night. And then go to here. And there we are. Should I show how, is there any questions? Oh, does anybody want me to go over anything I've just done?
It looks like Jorgelina is answering questions, typing in the chat, which is great. Someone asked, what does it mean to format to 1? And it basically just means that your, question 1 is the answer 1 and question 2 is answer 2. So we're just putting in placeholders basically and formulating things to number sequence. I did look at the Thanksgiving turkey again. So Julianne, if you delete all of your answers, it will work for you. So I think some of the later answers covered all of the formatting. So if you
back to that. Okay. So if we go to here again, that was 25. Did I put it on here? No. 25. There we are. There we are. So, should I do a bit of data validation? Show you how to do drop downs. So, if I wanted to say, for example, these three to be have a drop down menu, you go to here, data validation, list of items. I will show you, you can do list of items or list of range. So if I go noun, verb, adjective, you have to separate them by a comma. Save. You will see straight away we've got these little drop down, which has got noun, verb, adjective. So if this was, I don't know. So I want that one to be a noun. So I would put noun here. And when your students come, noun, and it fills in. So I want the next one to be a verb. And the next one to be an adjective. Verb, adjective. Remember, you can always change the size of the columns. It does not affect the pixel at all. Is there anything else that you think I should show?
I don't think so. I think I want to jump in and try to answer some of these questions. So I'm going to pull up a different one to do that. I
Do you
think,
want me to stop sharing?
yes. I think I'm going to go ahead and work with the file that we've given to everyone to show them some of the tips and tricks that they are asking about. Let me just find it.
George Lena's just put maybe show 0.
Yes, good idea. All right, here we go. I will share my screen now. Maybe. Okay, hopefully everybody can see this adorable little baby Yoda in a turkey costume. Poor guy. And that's a pumpkin. The first time I saw this, I thought it was a turkey there, and then he was dressed as a turkey, and I thought, oh, that poor thing, he's so confused. Any rate, I like to be able to see everything on my screen, so I will make the view a little bit smaller so I can see everything I'm working with. Going down to 50 might be too small. Okay, so somebody has asked about decreasing the number of questions, so I'm going to show you that first. This particular one has 18 questions. I'm going to just decrease it by a few just to kind of show you the process. And then, you know, if you were doing it and say you wanted to cut the number of questions in half, I would probably combine number 2 with number 1 and number 4 with number 3. And the reason I would do that would be because as the progression goes along with the answers, more and more of the puzzle is revealed. So you wouldn't want to take number 18 and connect it with number 1, because number 18 is going to show a lot of the pixels. And so that would kind of ruin the surprise a little bit. So that's what I would recommend. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to start back here at 18, and I'm going to combine it with number 17. So to do this, I need to open my conditional formatting. And I think it's helpful if I explain a little bit about, you know, kind of what these formulas mean. Conditional formatting basically is an if-then idea. If this is true for this cell, I want you to do this other thing to all the other cells. So if we look at it here, if this cell equals what I've put on this indirect sheet, I want it to affect this entire range, which is typically, you know, all of the pixels in your in your puzzle. Sometimes I can get my cursor to show that real nicely. There we go. If you look at the screen, you can see all the little orange ones highlighted around the pie and the pumpkin. Or if I go to number 17, there you can see all the little red ones in his hat, ones on the end of his feather. So these are all of the different formulas connected to answer number 17. When we click on 18, these are all of the different ones that are connected to question 18. So we've done the same formula where it says this cell, if it equals the indirect on sheet 2, A67. I'm going to flip over to sheet 2, scroll down, and we see A67 down here is number 18. Okay, so that's what we're asking. That's what the formula is saying. If this cell equals what's in A67 on that other page, then we want it to change all of these cells to orange. And then of course, if I delete it, it no longer matches what's in A67, and so all of those disappear. So what I need to do, and this is a little bit time consuming with this many formulas, so maybe I'll do a different one. I'll show you right now how you could move this. If you want to move number 18 to a different spot on the page, like if you were going to do, maybe a formula where you have a missing number. This is all merged together, but you can see up here it's 2 columns and it's a whole bunch of different rows merged together. So I'm going to unmerge it by clicking on the merge button. And then I want to put back together this first one here. And I'll do the same to the one next to it. And I did it the same by copied the one here and I pasted it over here. Just a shortcut to do it. But I'm going to move this answer up here to this one. So while you have this one selected, you want to cut, not copy, you want to cut. It copies it at the same time, and it also takes all of the formatting with it. And you go to this space here, and if you right click, you want to paste. So now number 18 has moved here, and so has all of the formulas with it. Okay, now if I were to put this on top of number 17, it's going to erase whatever's in 17. So that's not how you decrease it. I just wanted to show you right there how you move something. Where you left it, where it was before, those are all just unmerged cells with nothing in them anymore. So that's okay. I'm going to do one at the beginning because 17, 18 had too many formulas for me to work with. So I am going to take number 2 and I'm going to combine it with number 1. So number 1 is in column E and row 16. And I know that because I'm looking up here at this box where it tells me what the cell is. It's actually E16 through 24, but I only need to know the one at the top. If you happen to have 2 columns there combined together, you only need to know the one at the top left, and that's always this number up here. So while I'm on number 2, I'm going to go click on these formulas and I'm going to change them to match what is in E16. So I'm going to change this here from E25 to E16 and go all the way back to the end of the formula. And if this answer is in A51, the one before must have been in A50. Okay, and I'm done with that one. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other, which you can do by going in and typing it, or you could copy and paste the whole formula. But I'm essentially saying to this range, now if cell E16 equals what's on sheet 2 in A50, then I want you to react. Now, they have, okay, because everything is still lit up. If I delete number 1, it is going to take away not just these 2, but the 2 that were here as well. Now, the reason these 2 aren't connected to cell number 1 is because I didn't connect them yet. That's a separate step that you have to do. While you're on changing this formula to a different answer cell, you would have to add that answer cell to the range. So if you click on this little window here, it brings up the entire range, and you want to add another one. And if you click on cell number 1, where you moved your answer to, it shows up here. You have to click OK, and then you're done. So now I'm on cell 1, and you can see 3 of them there. So let me move the other one from cell number 2. I usually do it at the same time. I change the formula here, and I go in and I add this answer cell to the range, and then I'm good. Now, of course, all these aren't showing up because I don't have the answer in here. And I type number 1. There we go. Now, number 2, I can actually delete all of this and clear all of the formatting. It's still connected here, but it doesn't matter if I delete it because it's connected there as well. And I found a shortcut to doing that, which is the control button and the backslash, not the forward slash, the backslash. So it's right above my enter key. I think that's a standard thing. If you hit control and that backslash, it clears all of the formatting from those cells. So everything is cleared from there. No, none of my pixel disappear because I moved all of those formulas to be combined with number 1. Okay, does that make sense? Were there any questions on that as I was going through? Let me check in with Orlina.
No, Jennifer's saying, oh my, thank you for showing that. I thought it was more difficult than that. So that's
Right.
great.
Right, good.
I
I think I will show one more just so that, you know, some people need to just see it more than once. So I will take number 4 and combine it with number 3. So I need, my destination is going to be E34, and that answer is going to be in A52. Okay. So while I'm on number 4, I'm going to change this one here to E34, or what was it, right? Yes, E34. And to the end there, I will change that A52. A little bit of, you know, back and forth, you got to find it. I'm going to go ahead and add that cell to the range right now. And now when I'm looking at number 3, you can see that there's 4 here. There was only 3 before. This one is still tied here because I haven't deleted that yet. So I'm just gonna ignore it for the moment. If you read it closely, it does say E34 because I already moved it. So it's still there. Don't hit this delete key because that will delete the rule that is applying to number 3 here. You can clear it later, but you can't delete the rule inside of the conditional formatting. All right, and A52, and we will add the range of number 3. That just helps to tie everything together so that if you go back and you have to fix something later, all of the conditional formats for number 3 are all together connected to the number 3. You don't really have to connect any of these and it would still work. In fact, that's how I think both Julianne and I started this, was we would connect things to here, but we didn't connect to this one. And those cells weren't changing colors, which made it a little more difficult to reformat. And so we kind of changed the way that we were doing things. Okay, one more, and then I should be done with all of the numbers, all of the formats in number 4. I'm going to add this to the range. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to add it. I'll show you what happens. Okay, so I've done everything. I've got all 3 of these are now connected to this one. I'm going to clear what's in this one, which you can also do right click and where is it? I'm going to use my shortcut. I can't find where it is. All right, so I cleared all of that. Those formulas are gone from there. When I go to this number 3, I don't have that yellow one anymore because I forgot to connect it. Well, I didn't forget, I did on purpose, but you can still go back and connect it and you can find it. And this is what happens when you go and reformat something. And, you know, if you change all of these, then it should work, right? If you change all of those to the correct answer. Well, there could be some other one in the yellow here. I gotta find where it is. So I am clicking around on some of the yellow formats. Here it is, E34. And I want to reconnect it to number 3. So I found it by clicking on one of them in the range. And now I can connect it to number 3. Okay. So whenever you have a pixel art and not everything changes colors when you think you've done all of them, it's because there's a formula somewhere that's not connected to that answer box. And so you find it by clicking on these. If you were to highlight this whole thing, you would see all the formulas here. And you have to look at them very closely to figure out, okay, this formula belongs to column CZ, row number 70. So you'd have to look very closely at all of the different formulas to figure out which one you need to change. So that's how you do it. Another thing to note is that if you were to move things around and make things different sizes, like perhaps you wanted this to be much smaller, if you unmerge by clicking on that merge button and then redo it smaller like this. And actually, I want to do that to this answer cell here too. I'm going to make this smaller. And I'll put some lines around it so you can see what I'm working with here. Okay, so this one is a lot smaller now, and it is there we go. I want to move number 3 up into there. Because this is smaller and this one is bigger, it has more rows in it. This one has 5, this one has 8. If you were to cut this one and paste it in here, it's going to fill up 8 spaces. It's going to override what you've done there. You can avoid that by unmerging this one. And now the 3 hasn't really disappeared. It's in this top cell. We just can't see it because the cell's only this big. You can see the number 3 up here. If you cut this, so right click and cut, and then paste it up here, since what I have cut is smaller, when I paste it in there, it simply fills the space that I have. So I'm going to show you what would have happened if I had is still the eight different rows. If I were to cut that and put it in up here, see it overrode my smaller box. So if you want to take these bigger cells and make them into smaller cells, you have to do a little bit of manipulating there. Okay. Any questions?
No,
oh, I know.
Not really.
Okay.
Mary Mayer, I said about controls / always tips here, and I've just said I didn't know that either. So
I
thank you,
know,
Debbie.
I know. I just learned it maybe like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, that's so valuable. I love that. So, I think
This is what we say at every webinar, is that if you've only just started with pixels, you will get quicker and it will get easier. We always say we all started around the end of September last year. We'd never made one before.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a learning. We're always learning something, but we will warn you, you will go down the rabbit hole and never come back up.
It's very true, especially if you are a puzzler. If you are somebody who enjoys puzzles and figuring things out, it is a bit of a rabbit hole, but it's one that I have thoroughly enjoyed and love working on with people. So I wanted to show you today one of our matching activities.
I've just got a question. Sorry.
Sure.
How would I make it bigger if I had a word problem in the cell and I want it to fit?
So a couple different ways you could, let me share my screen again. You can, of course, make your columns bigger. If you select the column at the top, and you can resize it by putting in an actual number. Right now it's sized to 60. Let's double that. See, you can also drag up here. You could make this column bigger in order to fit in your question or problem or whatever. You can change your font size, of course. Right there, it is too big to fit. It did wrap, which is nice. So the wrap was already set on there. If the wrap is not set, it does this, which is not at all what you want. So you can make your columns bigger. You can also make your font smaller. Took it down to 18 and it was very small. And you want to do what's best for your students and what they can read, and you don't want to make things too small. Now, if you had a bigger problem like with an image, you know how I reverted back on everything here. just so you realize, like I moved 2 back to its own spot and 4 back to its own spot. But you could connect all of these together and put an image in there, a graph or a shape or something, and then you could have your questions or your answers here. So there's a lot of different things you can do to get space. You can merge this way, you can make your columns bigger, and then you can move these things around. So you can insert columns as well. Right here in the middle of this, if you were to insert a column to the left, it just gives you that much more space. Now, this whole thing is connected right now. It's not hard to unmerge, okay? I think if you have your grid lines on, you can see it a little bit, maybe not. There we go. Now you can really see it. Those are all of the different rows and columns. So I want to go back and I want to merge. Like say I put an image in there, and now I want to put a question here. And I can put my answer here. And I'm doing that by cutting and pasting, which the shortcut for that is Control X and then Control V. So you're probably familiar with Control C, which is for copy, but Control X is for cut. So there's a way that you could do it where you'd have an image there, your question here. Maybe I didn't need this extra column, but you can definitely add columns here in wherever you need them. If maybe you wanted, I do a lot of fraction work, so I have where I make mine smaller. And so I'm going to have a box and then another box underneath it. Put my lines back on there so you can see them. And that's when, of course, I'd have to change this to unmerge it, copy it, and put it there. I'm going to unmerge this one, cut that one from there, and put it here. So now I have those, a fraction there on 2 different boxes. So I'm going to erase all of that. I didn't use it all. Erase all of this by doing the Control and the backslash. And now my answers are just right here. So hopefully, all this moving around, like it doesn't obviously turn into a problem that you can see, but you get the idea of all the different things you can do to manipulate the folder. And remember, just try it. Like I say this all the time, Control Z is your friend. Control Z is undo. So anytime you try something and it doesn't work and the whole picture disappears, you can do Control Z until you get it back. Or there's always the version history. If you go under File and Version History, you want to see it. And I'm actually going to go back to the last time this was made correctly. I'm going to restore that one so that it's whole again.
Okay. Jennifer was asking about how to take a screenshot, so I put that up. I think Georgeline is just answering.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, Christina's just saying thank you so much. That is super helpful. We are starting fractions in a couple of weeks.
Yes, yes.
Is this the strategy you would use to move the answers that are coded that Mimi does a lot of?
Yes, for sure. Yes, definitely. Because Mimi's are kind of, all different places. And if you want it, and we make ours all in a line because it's just a generic way to do it, but you can certainly move them all over. I also do a lot of the, the long division where I have different answers in different places. And so that's another thing. I just move them where I need them to go. You do have to know that little trick about if this cell is too big, because when we make these, generally it's a big cell here. And so, 8 rows, 8 or 9 rows together is too big for a fraction if you want it to be smaller. So that little trick, I think, helps when you're moving stuff around. Okay, the other thing I wanted to do today was show you one of the matching activities that is in our Thanksgiving bundle. And let's see if I can share that on my screen. Okay, so this is a matching activity as it would appear when you download it. So this, it looks like, okay, everything's filled in. Well, what do I do? Where do I put the answers? Where's sheet 2? There is a sheet 2. You don't need to worry about it though. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's complete and how it works. And I think that will help you understand how to fill in the answers. So here is one that I have finished. I have all of the problems in here. I have the possible answers over here. And I'm going to, you have to be very clear with these riddle activities, because your answer isn't going to go here next to this. Your answer is going to be typed down here. So the directions say type the letter on the orange boxes that goes with your problem. So problem number 1, we need to find, all right, where's the answer to that one? It is down here. It is letter E. So I'm going to go down to number 1. In the box above it, I'm going to type in an E. And if that's correct, those two will connect and change colors. So if I had put in the wrong answer, then that will not happen. So there is no formatting for you to do on this. You simply put in the questions and the answers in the correct places. So when you go back to here, if you were to put your questions in here, I'm going with much easier ones this time. Okay, here's a situation. Julianne did this automatically, and just in case you don't realize, like this template happens to not be formatted for a large font. No big deal. You can highlight this whole thing and go up here and change your font size. Nice and big. Maybe you don't like that font. Maybe you want something cutesy. You can, change it to all different sorts of things. Okay. And there's a lot in here. It's a lot of space. You can delete these columns and it won't affect the answers here. All of the answers shift with it, which is so cool. Make sure you don't delete columns that are in the middle though. It has to be columns that are part of your answers. So I'm going to go ahead and delete a bunch of these since I have real simple problems here. Okay, I put in a problem. I need to connect it down here, put the answer in. Again, let's format these to be bigger numbers so that it's easier to see. And I like it to be centered. All right, so we've done that one. So what you want to do, this is number 1. You want to go down to number 1 here and you want to delete that letter. Okay, now we know we've done that one. Now there are more answers over here than there are problems. That's so that you could put in extra ones. So maybe I'd put 20 right here. It was more useful to me when I was doing this one to have those extras because I put numbers that were kind of close to the answers, but not quite the answer. Like for example, 88,700 and then 8,870. So that, the students really had to look at it carefully to make sure they had the right answer. If you were to, then your next one, you want to follow it. All right, my answer is over here, number 9. Okay, this is question number 2. I'm going to go down to question number 2 and I'm going to delete that G. And again, my answer is going to disappear. So this helps you kind of go along, make sure you're getting everything just right and your puzzle is set up. So all you do is put in the correct questions here and the correct answers over here, fill in a few of those extra spots with other possible answers, and then you're all set. So it's a really simple, quick activity since all the formatting is done for you. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Does anybody have questions on that? No questions? You're on mute, Julianne.
No, we're actually talking about Fred at the moment. Lisa Hamlin has just said that there's a parade at school and the kids are thinking of making a gnome float, which would be amazing.
That's fantastic. Please send us pictures. Okay, I can't seem to see the chat. It's not showing up for me. So if you guys have anything else, any other questions, you'll have to.
Yeah. No, I can't see.
Where can we get the matching if we didn't have a whole bundle? So we don't have any of the matching listed separately, but I'm certainly willing to put that together if that's something people would be interested in. The matching can be the riddle done this way, or it could be done just with you putting the answers in on the right side, and still the lines showing up. So if there's interest in a bundle of just matching, I think that's something we could consider. Talk to Harlina about that because she's the expert at making these. So I know we have the mazes that you can purchase separately that are really, not quite as easy, but pretty close. And you can try making your own too of the matching. I think that Harlina is going to make a video on how to do that. So that'll be something to look forward to, a video on how to make your own matching activities. So. Any other questions?
No, I think. Has anybody got any questions they would like to ask?
I had another activity pulled up and I didn't get to use it, but I do want to show you just because it's really beautiful. It's one of the ones that's in our Christmas bundle and it's just gorgeous. Here it is. Let me share my screen so you can see it. Julianne made this and I think it's stunning. Okay, now my screen, here we go. It is.
Oh, that's good because you'll be able to do it on that one. There's a few questions come in.
Okay.
Sometimes the kids end up not seeing the entire picture, even if the answer is correct. They sometimes end up changing the merged answer box. How can I correct this on their file?
I would say the best thing to do when a kid does that is to Control Z back to before it happened, because they have done something that affected the formulas, and you don't want to try to look at the formulas with them in front of them. So I would say just tell them to hit Control Z until they back up to before that mistake happened. So they shouldn't be hitting on anything that has a merge button. They just need to type in answers. And if they're deleting and clearing things and copying and pasting things, that's going to mess up the formatting. So good instructions for just typing answers. We don't cut and paste. We don't, hit merge on any of the cells. There, you can see the whole thing. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love that gingerbread house. So that's one of them in our Christmas package, if you are interested in that.
Can I just say, Georgina has just answered Sue's, does anyone know how to do the mazes when it isn't math related? It's exactly the same. You can put questions in, you can insert pictures in. Is Alyssa, is there a way kids can insert an image of their work on another sheet?
Oh, sure. You could, if you're going to do your answers in hide sheet 2, of course, you could add a sheet 3 or name it show your work, add a new sheet and change the name of it to add your own work here, and then teach the kids how to do that. When they go to that sheet that says put your work here, they just go to insert and image, and then image over cells. Let me I stopped sharing my screen. I should keep sharing it so I can not just talk at you but show you what it is. So let's add another sheet here. I did that by clicking on the plus button in the bottom left, and it put it right here in the middle. That's fine, but I'm going to change this name because if you leave it named sheet 3, they're going to ask where's sheet 2, and then they're going to go looking for it. So better keep them from doing that. Put your work here. Okay, so now that's the name of that sheet. So on that sheet, if you click insert, and this is what you would need to teach the kids, image, and then image over cells because you want it to fill the page. If you do in cell, it's going to be that big. That obviously won't work. So image over cells, and then it's going to bring up, drag your file here. So you would have, of course, taught the kids how to do a screenshot or a photo of their work, however it is that you have them do that. And then they would put the file there and it would show up on this sheet. So it's a great idea because especially I think with a matching, if you have kids just guessing or, they figure out the riddle, so they just type in the answers at the bottom, like, no, not going to work. You have to show us your work on that.
I've just realised, Debbie, I never actually showed how to hide the answers using white text and the sheet and everything,
Okay.
and then to unhide it all. Sorry, I've just remembered that I didn't share that.
You're going to do that now?
Yeah, do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me get back to this one. So I've shown you how to change the answers, which I'm sure you all agree with this indirect formula is so quick and easy. But if you were to give this to your students now, they could quite easily just click onto sheet 2 and there's the answers. So there's actually a few different ways that you can hide the answers and make it more difficult for your students to find. The easiest one is to actually highlight the answers and go to text color and simply change it to white so they cannot see it at all. You can also, if you get a bunch of columns and right click, hide columns, they've now gone. And you could go down to here and hide sheet. So your students would never know that there's a sheet 2. And actually this is quite useful if they've been doing it from like our group where we've shared it with the more traditional formula, because there's no sheet 2, so they won't be looking for it. To get back to it is view, hidden sheets, sheet 2, that comes up, and then click on the top here, unhide columns, and then obviously for the text. So then if you made a copy, unhide everything, and then you can make a complete different activity and then just do the same. So that is white, hide columns. You can't hide all the columns though, so just get a bunch and then hide sheet. There is more complex ways of doing it, which we can show you on the next one. I'm just conscious of time. But what you also have to do is get rid, I know it seems straightforward, but the amount of times I've not done it is to get rid of the title so your students can't guess. Is there any other questions or anything you'd like us to go over again? There's a question, where's the best place to find designs for the pictures in the middle of the activity? Is that for the pixels or is it for the puzzles?
She means pixels, I think.
Well, from those cross-stitch patterns. If you think cross-stitch patterns, like I'm an avid cross-stitcher, I have been for years, diamond paintings, that all got them pixels. And somebody asked before about how to do it, like with the more complicated ones, and I actually made this Baby Yoda. It's, if you look at cross-stitch, and I'm quite quick at it. It still takes me hours, but I'm quite quick at it because I've done cross stitch for so long. But if you look at a cross stitch pattern, one for inspiration, yes, just start off with a more simple one and then build it up. Quite often you can take screenshots of the cross stitch, you don't have to buy them. So yeah, if it's for the puzzles for images, is it Pixabay, Debbie, that is good?
Yes, Pixabay or Deposit Photos, Free Pick. A lot of those sites have free pictures that you can use.
Yeah, let me just get onto this. Before we do that, Georgelina's just saying about showing the video. Sorry, trying to get onto the Zoom. Wait. Ah, I'm here. Could I just say before we do that, if I put a link on for our store, we are not asking you to purchase anything, okay? But if you showed your support by just following us, because I don't know what the algorithms are, but like the more followers you get, the easier it is to find. So please don't think we are asking you to buy anything. We are not. But if you would just follow us, please, we would be so appreciative. So I'll just put it here.
And then we're trying to pull up a video to show you. Give me just a second to find it.
Yeah, just thinking, the Baby Yoda, please take a copy now, because we will be deleting it because it's only available for participants of this webinar and on our store. So please make a copy now. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Laurie. We are very appreciative. Thank you so much.
Well, Helena, can you find the video to show? I'm not finding it quickly on my drive.
Thank you, Sandra. I don't think I've got it on my drive either. Thank you so much, Christina. And just to think of, just before the video goes up, we do have an offer. If that you want anything formatted, we will do a bespoke format. Lisa, the calendar bundle are different than the holiday ones.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put a video up of most of them in a minute, so you'll be able to see. Sorry, Christy's just asking, how do you format answers so they must be capitalized correctly to work? Is that maybe something we could look at doing, or make a video and post up on our YouTube?
We could make a video of that. Yeah, I think we can make a video of that. I think we need to close for today, but yes, we'll look into that. It's a little tricky. It's a different formula, and you can't use it for everything, but it can be done. All right, I'm going to share my screen here to show this video. I don't know if there's going to be sound with it. It's not anything. There we go. Thank you all for coming so much. There was no sound on that, you said? Oh.
Jennifer, we are planning to grow it like the 1st of every month. So February will be up on the 1st of February, and yeah, you'll just re-download it.
Yeah, actually everything will be added into the folder. So hopefully it will just show up in your folder, but you may have to go back to TPT and get and re-download it. But we'll send a message out whenever you update. It asks you, do you want to send a message? And we said, and we tell it yes. So it goes out to anybody who has purchased it in the past.
Christina, yes, if you purchase it now, it's actually only $45 for another day. But after that, till the end of the month, it'll be $50. But if you buy it now, you will get February, March, April, May, June free. So for 6 months, you'll pay $45 for the next 24 hours or so, $50 after that up until. But then if you were to buy it in December when the February's up, it will be $90. And then you would get March, April, May, June free, if you know what I mean. So the earlier you get it, the better the bargain. And we counted up that approximately there'll be about 250 items, which would retail on our store at approximately $850. So you'd be able to buy it for $45 now and get $850 worth of resources. Oh, anytime, Lisa. Oh, Bridget, it's actually in the comments now. Georgelina, would you be able to post up it one last time before we delete? And I think Mary asked about the bespoke item. We've got a resource on our store where you can have a bespoke of any of our templates. You just put in your order and then we see if we can do it and we get back to you. So there is a couple up on there that we've done for other people, so you can have a look at what they've asked for. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Tony. Bridget. Lisa, Jennifer, Christina, Alyssa. I learn something every time I come to these, so thank you. Alyssa, I actually learn something new every time I come to these as well. You're welcome, Sandra. Thank you so much, Christina. You're welcome, Mary. So thank you all very much.
I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I think we're going to close now. So thanks for watching and asking questions. And we'll hopefully do this again sometime.
Thank you, Sue.